happen if Trump wins? You sure you want to know? Well, if you're a betting man, a Biden victory is at best a coin flip. And if Trump wins, that coin may only have one side. In a recent Time interview, Trump pledged to deport more than 11 million people from this country, build migrant detention camps, and deploy the U.S. military, both at the border and inland. Think about that. How would you even do that? You can't just walk up to Latinos and say, I want to see your papers. But that's exactly what Arizona tried, and it was ruled unconstitutional. But how do you round up 11 million people and put them on trains for points unknown? I mean, what country has ever done that? Oh, yeah, those guys.
Give me your tired and your poor who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge.
And U.S. law says you can't use soldiers against U.S. citizens. Of course, that means nothing to Trump's philosophy of grab 'em by the posse comitatus. And for the record, there are more than 1 million undocumented from Canada and Europe who are white. Will Trump go after them?
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
Trump pledges to let red states monitor a woman's pregnancy and prosecute anyone who violates abortion bans.
What could be more beautiful or better than that?
Trump is pledging to let red states monitor a woman's pregnancy and prosecute anyone who violates their abortion bans. And despite Trump's waffling on abortion after the Arizona Civil War abortion law, if he wins, he's all in. Not because he's pro-life, but because the pro-life movement will use Trump and his gaping moral shortcomings to get what they want. And what do they want? And what do they want? Watch The Handmaid's Tale, then double down on that insanity.
I had an abortion. But it wasn't my fault. My mother, she made me do it. She wouldn't let me have the baby.
Well, was it
her fault?
Whose fault was it? Her fault.
Trump has pledged to fire U.S. attorneys who don't carry out his orders to prosecute somebody, which is exactly the opposite of the framers' intent. He'll go after more than just attorneys. He'll attack political opponents, too. I mean, do you have a single doubt that he won't indict Biden, blaming him for his trials?
I mean, Joe would be ripe for indictment. So you're saying that Trump shouldn't get immunity, but Joe Biden would? I didn't do anything like he did. I ran a great country.
And he won't stop there. He'll use the FCC to shut down media that criticizes him.
The media is corrupt.
Which he's already said he's willing to do.
Just the other day in Montana, he praised a candidate who body slammed, who physically abused a reporter who was following him.
I shouldn't say this because there's nothing to be embarrassed about. We endorsed Greg very early, but I had heard that he body slammed a reporter.
Sick and tired of you guys.
And I said, oh, this is terrible. He's going to lose the election. Then I said, well, wait a minute. I know Montana pretty well. I think it might help him. And it did. He's my guy.
And the next time he incites violence, who's going to stop him? Congress? Seriously? They can impeach him all they want. But without 67 votes in the Senate, it's like calling your older brother names when your parents are out. There's nothing you can do. If Trump arrests Democratic members of Congress, what are they going to do? Count on the Republicans to save them? That's a good one. He controls the Justice Department. In fact, the very first thing he will do is trash the criminal cases against him, which the Supreme Court is delaying indefinitely, and tell Georgia to pound sand. Or tell Georgia no money from the feds until you comply. Again, who's going to stop him? But wait, it gets worse. If MAGA somehow wins the House and somehow picks up 7 Senate seats, the Democrats will be a meaningless pile of old white men and women who Trump could arrest if he wanted to, because who's going to stop him? These guys?
If the president decides that his rival is a corrupt person and he orders the military or orders someone to assassinate him, is that within his official acts that for which he can get immunity?
It would depend on the hypothetical, but we can see that could well be an official act.
All right, so let's say the Supreme Court rules against him and Trump ignores them. What then?
Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us, and if he doesn't...
And Trump is pledging to pardon every one of the insurrectionists from January the 6th, more than 800 of whom have already pled guilty or been convicted by a jury, while millions of men languish in prison for crimes like drug possession. If they'd only just carried out a coup. Imagine letting these creeps out of prison knowing they can act without impunity. That sounds safe, right?
Well, I mean, obviously, what I said was that I'm very disappointed that this country is stuck with this choice between two people who I don't think either of them should be president of the United States. But given that binary choice, I feel I have to choose Trump.
Trump has pledged to arrest the likes of Bill Barr, who is an ignorant hump on the wrong side of everything, and is still supporting Trump, as well as Jen Milley, who told the truth and may one day pay for it.
We are unique among the world's militaries. We don't take an oath to a country. We don't take an oath to a tribe. We don't take an oath to a religion. We don't take an oath to a king or a queen or to a tyrant or a dictator. And we don't take an oath to a wannabe dictator.
I want to be a dictator.
Trump has pledged to blow off NATO.
One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, no, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
This, of course, answers the question that only a few are still asking because everyone knows the truth.
And after 3 years of lies and smears and slander, the Russia hoax is finally dead.
Is Trump still colluding with the Russians?
Russia, if you're listening.
Trump's allegiance to Putin, as evidenced by both the Helsinki press conference.
I think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia.
That was then. Today, Russia is interfering by providing disinformation to Comer and Jordan in the attempt to smear Biden. Seriously, how far will Trump go when he's back in power?
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent?
Trump is pledging to gut the U.S. Civil Service, deploy the National Guard to American cities as he sees fit, close the White House Pandemic Preparedness Office, and staff his administration with Trumpers who back his rigged election BS. All this will make America unsafe from a huge list of catastrophic events like hurricanes, nuclear accidents, and a possible bird flu outbreak. Unlike W, who actually put together the first pandemic handbook, Trump's ignorance will be compounded by his crony cabinet appointments. Can you imagine Dairy Queen as head of Homeland Security? You should start.
Indictable.
If Trump gets any immunity, game over. Tiny fingers is a disease, and he's infected millions of Americans who love that pull yourself up by the bootstraps BS while not paying back PPP loans and enjoying the literal fruits of the 11 million illegals' hard work. Trump pledges chaos, but he has a plan. It's a plan of a mentally ill sociopath who has his crosshairs on anyone who dares tell the truth. And many people my age who have been through watered-down versions of this might think, America's strong, we'll get through, but we won't. Because the only things that have made this nation great, immigration, diversity, empathy, and hope, are under attack by the very system they created. You see, if Trump wins, the only thing that can hold back Trump from a campaign of terror against our constitutional rights will be Trump. But if he wins, we can stop him, right? Don't bet on it.
You can't let that happen to me. Who's with me?
Hi, what's up?
Time to pack it up.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Thank you so much for watching. You know, YouTube frequently penalizes my videos for taking on controversial subjects, hurting our ability to earn ad revenue, which we use to hire more hosts and make more videos. We think it's so important to make these videos now and expose a Republican cult. So please join us on Patreon. The link is in the comments. We literally can't make these without you. Thank you so much. For Really American Media,
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.